What's going on, everybody? It's Q from Retro Q Game, and I'm sure around the internet all over today, be it whatever you're using, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, God knows whatever else is still going these days, there are probably many people going crazy in a positive way over the new PlayStation news. Now, what I mean when it comes to the new PlayStation news, we're talking about Sony finally, officially, completely adding the ability to change your gamer tag or your PSN ID, whatever way you want to call it. So real quick, I'm going to get one or two things out of the way before the main point of this video. Of course, because this has been questioned and wanted for so long, despite Microsoft and competitors having it for God knows how many years at this point. Hell, I even remember when I made my original Xbox 360 account, what was it, like I don't know, about 4 months after the console launched, I imported my OG Xbox One and they made me change it. And I know it's not exactly the same, but many years later they did add the ability to change it yourself at will. Of course, you did have to pay for it. Anyway, that's beside the point. So what they're doing, what Sony are doing, is they're offering everyone their first name change for free. So that's okay, fair enough. And if you don't like it or you have any problems, you can roll it back to your previous ID. There's a couple of other features in there too that you can say if you're worried about people on your friends list not recognizing you or not knowing who you are. There's an option to actually display your old name on your profile for 30 days. Which is kind of useful. Also, if you do revert to your previous gamertag, your previous PSN ID, it's completely free. Of course, after the first change that is completely free, not the reverts, they're always free from what I understand. But any subsequent change after the first one is going to cost you $10 or €10 or whatever it is in pounds. Now, that's all beside the point. That's just kind of setting up the main reason I want to talk about this video. And frankly, this is a big warning to everyone out there because sure, many people are going to change their gamer tags or change their PSN IDs or just for whatever reason. But there's a couple of big, glaring, huge problems with this service as it stands. Currently, Sony actually only advertise proper compatibility, at least anyway, with any PlayStation 4 game that was first created and published after April 1st, 2018. Now, apparently the reason for this is when the things were developed for publishing and all after this date, they used kind of back-end developers, software tools that would be compatible with the PlayStation Network changes and just kind of PSOS changes and stuff. So there is an approved list of games that has proper support for all of this stuff. They've said there's a couple of other things that might be experiencing issues and whatnot in previous games or games not on that list while also released after April 1st, 2018. But here's where I'm going to get to the big problem and why I want to talk about this video. First off, yes, of course, it is a good thing that Sony are offering this service. They're years behind Microsoft and, well, PlayStation fans have been dying for this for years. So they're finally getting around to it, which is a good thing for the PlayStation fans out there. I'm sure many of you out there, when you first created a PSN account back on the PS3, you didn't think you'd be stuck with something edgy like XX Grim Reaper Blade 69 420 XX. But that's not all great news, because back when Sony actually beta tested this functionality at the end of 2018, there were some big glaring issues that Sony gave as a warning. Now, unfortunately, these issues are still presented on the official FAQ for this upcoming, or well, it's now live PlayStation name change, and some of them are absolutely game-breaking and, in my opinion, render the service unacceptable at all, even as a chance or a risk. So let's take a quick look at some of the most frequently asked questions about some possible issues that you might run into after changing your PSN ID on the PS4. So your previous online ID may remain visible to you and other players in some areas. So that means in some games or some loading screens or certain parts of certain games, certain menus or whatever it is, your old tag might show up. Not a big deal, fair enough, I can understand that, unless you're kind of trying to hide from someone who's stalking you or something, but moving on, you may lose progress within games, including game save data, leaderboard data, and progress towards trophies. That one's kind of fucked up within itself when you think about it. Why would it changing your name on your PSN account cause you to lose progress within games. Basically, it wouldn't recognize your save data tied to that specific account. It would kind of say this save data is tied to account account letter A. But now that you've changed it, your name is now letter B, and it's still trying to associate the save data with account A. Again, some really bad programming and flaws on Sony's part. Same deal with leaderboard data and progress towards trophies. But wait, it gets worse. And before I go any further, I do want to say again that this is why this whole system, these points and the points I'm about to get to, are why this whole system should not exist. It's completely half-baked in its current form. Because frankly, if any of this is a problem, you're better off just creating a second account to play certain games for or something like that. Anyway, back to why I believe that. Parts of your game and applications may not function properly both online and offline. Now that may be certain modes or certain anything basically tied to a specific account or the features of a specific account. Obviously once that account changes, it might have some issues on there too. Now, having said all that, right, we're not even at the most egregious one, which we're going to get to right now. All of these are, some of these have been pretty minor. Your old name popping up in some select rare circumstances, it's kind of minor. The whole losing progress within games and save game data, leaderboards, blah blah blah, is questionable. Parts of your game and applications not functioning properly online and offline, that's a big red flag, but here we're about to get some Kill Bill alarm style flags. You may lose access to content, including paid for content that you may have acquired for your games, including content like add-ons and virtual currency. So what they're saying is that you could have some sort of issue redeeming licenses already on your existing account for paid content, paid DLC, or virtual currency. Let me explain that and break that down to you in real world, easy to understand terms. Basically, you may lose access to any type of license linked to your account. You may lose access to fully paid DLC. You may lose access to fully paid game licenses that you've paid to download. And any types of cosmetics like skins or whatever for The Last of Us, Uncharted, whatever it is. And you could potentially lose all of that just to change your name. This system is incredibly half-baked. It's vintage Sony almost, if you ask me. Many people give Sony the benefit of the doubt considering that they actually are winning this generation and they have a decent amount of games and whatnot. But this highlights something I've been spouting for years at this point. A lot of the time, Sony haven't a fucking clue what they're doing. They're trying to play catch up a lot of the time and they just completely fuck it up. Let me break it down and put it easy for you and we'll end it with a quick question. Would you change your PSN name, and is it worth you changing your PSN name knowing you could lose access to all of this? Why not create a new account? Would you do it if you knew you're going to lose access to all your paid for stuff? Or are you okay sticking with XOXO biggest dickus just so you don't have to lose your progress in Call of Duty and buy the game again? Anyway, I don't know, this is madness to me how this ever got out in this way, shape and form. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this laughable list of possible issues and bugs that can happen with this account system. As well as, are you going to use it? Are you going to wait till it gets fixed? Or are you happy with your gamer tag? Let me know all that good stuff in the comment section below. Hit the appropriate button to let me know how I did on the video. And while you're at it, why not head on over and hit the subscribe button and even ring the little notification bell. Granted, getting a notification from YouTube in current year about a video upload or a live stream or whatever is a whole other story. But hey, at least you can say you tried, am I right? As always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.